I'm really excited right now because I feel like I am stepping into a business model that just works for me. Over the last few years, I've been focusing a lot on one-on-one coaching and working with different individuals to really get into the core of where they are feeling lonely and how they can bring in more belonging into that picture, as well as where they're settling in life so that they can bring out more possibility and start to create once again. And one of the themes that has come up has just been this theme of leadership and really stepping into your leadership and creating something from that, leading others, building a tribe from there. And what's been really, really wonderful for me is that I've now kind of stepped into a new part of seeing the way that I operate in the world differently. Nowadays, when I look at my business here, I look at it from the standpoint of it being a personal brand business, with it being a movement business. There's a visual that I have for this year, which I'll share. I like picture an arrow, like not like a bow and arrow, but like one of those PowerPoint arrows with like the really thick, thick shaft there. Yeah, where like the entire triangle, it's a triangle that sits on top of a rectangle, and it's like the triangle itself is. It's the point. It's what leads things in there. It's NemoAshong.com. It's the brand. It's the World Joy Movement. It's the movement. And it's the things that I talk about when I talk to Outliers, Pioneers, and Mavericks around the challenges of really being a courageous leader in the world and standing up, standing for, and standing into what it is that you're here to create. So that conceptually, I think of that whole entire bit as like my message, my mission, my vision, and putting that out in the world as a thing that's driving everything that I do forward. Underneath that, though, I'm not someone who, from a business perspective, is looking to really create revenue from ads and sponsorships. It will come. It'll be a part of the revenue streams, but it's not my primary method. I'm not trying to get listeners for the sake of being able to turn that into sponsorships and such, right? Instead, underneath that triangle is the rectangle. And in the rectangle, at this current moment, I'm seeing it broken up into four different kind of divisions. The first one being what I'll call the B2C, where I work directly with different leaders, specifically Outliers, Pioneers, and Mavericks, who are really just going out and bringing their mission out into the world and leading their movement. I move movement leaders. That's what I do. And this is an opportunity that we get a chance to come together and work on you and bring your leadership out into the world so that you can make your biggest impact in the world. This is something that I found that people have had to have gone through a path of having their own traditional success of creating money, creating impact within their organizations, and also just like getting their not even initial, but they're in a place where they've created a traditional level of success, a conventional level of success, let's say that, and they're looking for something more, something that's beyond the status quo. And in order to create that they come to me and we work on it. Right? And the funny thing about this here is that in many other parts of their life, they may not consider themselves an outlier, pioneer, or maverick. But when it comes to their next contribution, it requires going outside of the status quo. And so it creates something different. And that's when we play. So that's the first box. The second box is something I'm stepping into right now, which is around B2B or business to business. And this is where I would say like enjoyment still lives, right? This is the empowerment, enjoyment, employment. This is that part of the business. And with that, I work with organizations on cultural transformation, leadership development, employee engagement, diversity and inclusion, global community culture, or global company culture, I should say. Basically, I'm taking a lot of the learnings that I had when I was working in tech and working on the people experience team and being able to bring that out from a culture perspective to a lot of different organizations. It's really funny because I joke with my wife. I'm like, people come to me all the time to talk about culture in their organization. They come to me all the time to talk about and think about their own leadership. And it's something that I haven't been stepping into. And now with this arrow framework, I can see how it all comes to life. The fourth thing then is what I'll call kind of government work or municipalities work. And there's nothing that's in the works for this right now, but some of the work that I do with belonging and bringing together communities and having various workshops, they are great for individuals. They also work for companies, because at the end of the day, we're always talking culture. When I'm talking to leaders, it's like your own personal culture, your own personal values, and how you bring that out into the world. When I'm talking to organizations, we're talking about your company values, your team values, and how that gets manifested through your organization, and how that's living out in the work that you do. And then when it comes to governments and municipalities, like, I can see myself working for the city of New York and bringing some of that in there for the citizens of that community. And then going beyond that is the fourth element, which I would really consider like my societal impact. And that societal impact comes from the standpoint of the World Joy movement overall. This is where I get a chance. This is my nonprofit arm, and I get to use this to work with people that I wouldn't normally be able to work with in the for-profit area. There's different projects that we can take on for this purpose. There, for some reason, right now, youth leadership is really comes true to me around that. Like, that feels important to me. As a place where, from a nonprofit perspective, I would like to put some energy into, as well as helping leaders who haven't really stepped into their leadership. It's really important for me right now to be working with those leaders who are there and need to take it to the next level to be able to create a higher impact. It just creates more space for others underneath them, or others that are either following them, other leaders that are being led by them, others who are becoming who are awakening to the impact and power that they have as a leader, even if it's not in title or specific authority. But this nonprofit arm allows me to go and play so much more. I'm exploring ideas of the World Joy the musical. I'm exploring ideas of like a World Joy X Prize, and I'm really looking into what does this vision all look like, and how does this all come together. And it's just been a really fun journey and a really meaningful journey. I think I wanted to one of the things I'm looking to practice is to share my journey with you along the way, and the good, the bad, the messy, and as it's evolving and emerging. The type of emergence that's coming through here. And so I'm going to end this here by asking you one question. What might your arrow look like? As an outlier, a pioneer, a maverick, as a leader out there, what's that triangle? What's the tip of your arrow? What does that part look like for you? And I realize when I say tip of the arrow, it makes me think of Aaron Baker, who really owns like being the tip of the arrow. So I'm using this in a different context than how she uses it. But what's that triangle part of your arrow? What's the part that like leads everything you do? And then how do you support that with the shaft of it through that rectangular portion, through the various means that you might be able to collect revenue and such from there? All right, cool. I'm Nemo Ashong, founder of Enjoyment, leader of the World Joy movement, and outlier, pioneer, and maverick leader myself. I'm really interested in having a conversation with you. And if you're interested in exploring what your business model might look like, what your movement model might look like, let's say that, I'll be thrilled to have a conversation. Just go over to nemoashong.com and apply for a group or community-based conversation with me, and we can go ahead and continue from there. All right. Looking forward to hearing from you. Talk to you soon. Here's to being more you each and every day. Your world benefits from you. Game on.